Hi everybody, this is Ginger and this is Ginger's Chat Show, and it's Monday, January 27th, and just on a light note, before I start, that I don't know if any of you watched the AFC and NFC divisional championship games. I'm glad to see, Kansas City doing its repeat. Sorry, that was my phone. Doing its potential repeat, as they call it, for the Super Bowl. Um, tomorrow I'll be taking Loki in to get him checked out. He is having some respiratory issues, and he sounds like he's snoring, which he is. He's snoring loud enough you can hear him. But he's not feeling very good, so gonna get him checked out and hope everything is okay and just caught a little something, which happens. Because I'm the only one that's in and out of the apartment, and so he very rarely goes out unless he goes to a vet appointment. Um, so poor kitty. Anyway, he's getting his rest. He's eating. He's drinking. Hi, Nancy. Eating and drinking, and which is good. It's good. So, anyway, regarding he who shall not be named, you know who that is. Um, that's why I call him. I don't call him by any presidential number or anything. He's he who shall not be named. He didn't deserve any kind of respect. Okay, whatsoever. The guy in the White House. Um, More like idiot and child in the White House. Anyway, he got during one of his executive orders he put out is he is from what I understand it um DEI program that teaches inclusion, acceptance, that type of thing for minorities and those from different countries and everything that come in that serve in the Air Force and want to become citizens here. And Trump decided to be a petty little brat, and he doesn't want them to learn anything. He doesn't want any of the American people to learn anything. Okay, he doesn't want them to learn the history of like the Tuscany Airmen. Matter of fact, I have one living here in my apartment complex. He just turned 100 years old. I briefly met him. Very, very, very nice gentleman, and we talked a little bit nice, about during World War II and everything else. I told him about my uncles. Um, and of course, my dad served stateside. Um, so he wants to basically, Trump is trying to rewrite history by doing that. Not teaching anything about Tuscany Airmen nor the WASP, the Women's Army Air Corps pilots that did the back then. They did the ferrying of the aircraft to various fields so they could get the pilots could get the planes, the B-17s, B-17 fighter planes, everything else. Women ferried them. They flew them and ferried them, and of course, risking their lives doing so. Um, and Trump is trying to rid the women out of the armed forces now. Well, I'm sorry, that's not going to happen. You're not going to sit there and push women out because they are doing their job. Not everybody could go to the armed forces. And the guy just doesn't seem to get it. So he's getting a big backlash from the Air Force. Air Force told Trump, hell no. We are teaching this subject. It's always been a part of our curriculum. This is what they learned in basic training. They're taking it basically courses in like a civics and history and everything else so they can understand. And many of them have gone along just great together. So really, what's the problem? So leave the DEI alone. Just leave it in place. Leave it alone. And stop messing with things that have been working well for years. Don't fix anything that's not broken. And this is what he's doing. He who shall not be named is the stupid, spoiled brat child. That's all he is. And he had really no business being president of the United States. He's not suited for the job. And he didn't know what he's doing. He's being lazy. That's what he's doing. And I think now time Congress has a spine and tell him what to do. More than anything. Let's see. And the other thing he's getting slapped about is from other countries, such as down south in Colombia, Denmark, Greenland, Iceland. Matter of fact, a lot of countries around the world are slapping back hard at him, not at us. Well, he's going to lose control because you know what? The women outnumber the men. You better be careful who he messes with. Because we can fight back, and we can fight back dirty if we want to. And I'm sure many of us want to. He cannot control us. It won't happen. Sorry, that's my phone. It's not going to happen. Matter of fact, just today, the Senate, all 47 senators, because remember the Senate has a very slim majority, and the House has a very slim majority. 47 Democratic senators, along with 2 independents, have put together a very strong resolution condemning Trump's executive order on releasing the January 6th prisoners. And that's what they are. They're prisoners. Okay? I don't care what Trump calls them. They are prisoners, not hostages. They're prisoners. I don't think he knows what hostages mean. I don't think he knows what the term means. So, because many of their lives were in danger 4 years ago. And now they're saying, a lot of the Republicans are now admitting, going, yeah, our lives were in danger too. And it's like, yeah, it shouldn't, he was told not to do it. Okay. But he did it anyway, when he was told no in the first place. And frankly, what the federal prison should have done was tell him, hell no, they're staying in jail. We don't care what your order says. Because he himself is a felon. So really, he who shall not be named should not be in the White House. So, because when I grew up and I learned the civics and everything else, I thought that a convicted felon cannot hold any kind of office, whether it be local, state, or federal. I thought they cannot hold the office because of their felony conviction. Now, why the presidency has an exception is beyond me. They need to change that. Anyway, with Greenland and Denmark and everything else, and Denmark really slapped back at him. Their prime minister told him, he goes, Greenland is a sovereignty, is a territory of Denmark. You keep your paws off of it. And he was very blunt. He was so blunt, it wasn't even funny. Which is good. I'm glad to see that. Anyway, on to other things. The California fires. Oh, I'm sounding like him. Sounding like my cat. I think we both gave each other something. California fires are still going on. And yeah, so did I. And I was going, good for you. Good for you. Some ways I wish I was living over in Denmark. They don't put up with crap like that. Knowing the Danes. They take very good care of their people. They really do. And my sister many years ago went to Holland on a trip, which I didn't know about until later. Went over to Holland on a trip, and she said the people were very friendly, very helpful. If you got lost, they point you to the right direction, back where you're supposed to go. You know, many things. And there's some Americans that do live over there. Some bought a farm and helping, renovate the farmhouse and, contribute to the community, contribute to the country, and they're doing just fine. They're happy about it. And sure, they pay taxes, but everybody gets free health care, which we should have here. And countries like Denmark and UK and Canada do not allow corporations to dictate to them. They ban them out. They freeze them out. They freeze out the corporations. They tell the corporations, if you want to do business here, that's fine, but you have to pay taxes for it. You have to pay a certain percentage of taxes for it. This helps, our infrastructure. This helps our roads, maintaining our roads and bridges and everything else. Because how are we going to get the supplies here? And so, also, they teach I read an article somewhere, they also teach their kids critical thinking skills. In other words, look at all sides of the problem. What do you do to solve the problem? I'm trying not to sneeze. So anyway, so they teach their kids that, but they also teach them to treat others respectfully and no discrimination. And if those that have disabilities, born with disabilities, whatever, treat them, with respect and help them when you can, okay? I love it, like countries like Canada and UK and others don't allow corporations to take over. And they're called, those are oligarchs. Those guys need to be given the boot. And saying, well, they provide jobs. Really? They're more like they're trying to screw people over. And that has to stop. It really has to stop. Um, Now, the other thing too is that more states and cities, big, small, in between cities, are resisting he who shall not be named. They're especially in the part of the arrests that have been happening, the mass arrests and deportations and everything else. And it's like, it's violating a lot of state laws. They have state laws against that type of thing. Here, and everywhere in all 50 states, okay? And many of them are resisting now and saying, no, you cannot do that. If you do that, that is we deem that as false arrest. So if a ICE group went in there and, like, say, in a school or a college or whatever, and try to arrest people deeming that they're illegal aliens and everything else, the police will step right in and say, no, you touch them, we arrest you. And I think it's a messaging to be sent back to he who shall not be named. Tell them, no, this is wrong. We need migrants here. We could set up a new program where they can have like a dual citizenship if they want to, and work here, send money home, however to keep the economy going, world economy going. So I don't really know, not really know, I don't really understand why Trump is doing this. I really don't. Oh, I look at him as a cross-eyed bully that doesn't know a dang thing how things work. And frankly, the guy should be removed from office. 25th Amendment needs to put in there, or Congress needs to remove him. The Senate needs to remove him and say, nope, you're incompetent. And Vance is going to find out sooner or later that Trump's going to turn on him. You think the guy would remember when 4 years ago, when we had the January 6th, that Trump turned on Pence and almost had him killed? You think Vance would think that far ahead about that? And why the guy should have a job like that? Hi, Teresa. Hola. Still windy there? Is it still cold and windy? Good seeing you. Been a while. Yeah. Well, last time, let's see, I didn't go through Chicago. I went through Minneapolis, St. Paul. And that was on my flight back from the cruise. Yeah. We need to fight back and we need to resist hard. That's what we really need to do. We need to speak up and speak out. And people say, oh, don't do that. You know, you might get hurt, you might get arrested and everything else by him. And I go, he's the one that should be arrested. When you say things like that, preventing you from speaking out and resisting, that means that those guys are condoning it. Okay? You tell them, don't, it sounds like to me you're condoning it. And really makes them stop and think and go, in order to fight this injustice that he who shall not be named is doing, it should be resisted and resisted hard. He should be slapped back. Now, I don't know if any of you guys watched this. There was an interview of AOC. Good. Um, with AOC, she's the lowest, well, for income, she's the lowest income uh, House of Representative that does not do stocks or anything else. She said that is wrong. If you want to do stocks, wait until you retire and then do stocks. But don't do it while you're on the job. So she didn't do it. She said the only thing she relies on is her own salary that she makes in Congress. She only relies on that. She doesn't rely on the stocks or other outside come. So the outside come I used to have was when I worked in a bar in New York. So she set an example. She said the corruption's got to stop. It really does. It doesn't serve its purpose. Doesn't help anybody or anything. And I agree with her on that. I really do. She's a very bright, very smart young lady and knows what, okay? Sorry. So we need to fight back and need to do some yelling, very strong yelling, and go, hey, you work for us. They need to remind the senators and representatives that you work for us. And we need to tell he who shall not be named what to do. Oh, and the other thing earlier this week, Vivek Swamarmy or whatever his name is, he is now running for governor of Ohio. I don't think Ohio will hire him. No, I don't think they'll vote for him. But he left the Doge, or the DOGE thing, and he left that. Well, and also from what I understand, he who shall not be named kicked Elon, actually he who shall not be named chief of staff kicked Elon out of the White House. He said he did not belong there. If he went in office, he had to go to the old legislative building next door. And she told Trump, you don't want him sticking his nose in business that he does not need to stick his nose in. Apparently, she doesn't put up with Trump's antics. Okay? So, he needs a strong handler. It's what he really needs. But, again, Trump should be removed from office, either by the 25th Amendment or Congress needs to build a backbone, strong backbone, and impeach him and remove him from office. And then maybe do a snapshot election, like 2 weeks or something like that, or a week or something. Do like what England does. They do snapshot elections, which is really quick. They don't have this long, drawn-out process like we do. And I think we need to change that to that. And have a proper president in the White House. And do things that are supposed to, that work. Okay? And really listen to people. Because I think right now, many of the Trump supporters are regretting their decision because it's affecting them too. And they need to, more and more, need to listen to Midas Touch and read Substack, which I do. and just and also make strong comments on your social media platform too. And some of them, like this one guy goes, "Why someone Trump need to be removed?" The guy, "Oh well, that's not going to happen." I go, "Oh, you mean you condone what Trump does?" And he comes back and he says, "Oh well, Trump's the best president we ever had." And I go, "No, he's not. He doesn't know how anything works. Best president I think we ever had was President Biden. But within the last year or so, President Biden, I don't think he hasn't been feeling very good, uh, feeling all that well. Because remember last year about this time or a little later. Yeah, I get mine from my info from them too. Um, he I lost my train of thought. I hate it when that happens. Um, yeah. So he, oh, President Biden, about last summer or late last summer, he came down with COVID, and so it took a lot out of him. Um, so including right now, I have in my church I go to, we have a church member that's down with COVID. And I'm going, oh, I hope none of us catch it. I hope our vaccines are working. um, or at least calm it down, if you will. Yes, I watched Midas Touch, and some of it I kind of find it funny. I like the podcast where all three brothers are there and they explain things and how everything works and have interviews and everything. So, anyway, okay, well, it's almost time to sign off. Let me check my calendar. Let me change that out just a minute. Okay, I'll see you on Friday. This coming Friday. I'll keep you posted on what's going on with Loki and my cat. And of course, we have the Super Bowl, or the Super Bowl, well, we have the Super Bowl in a couple of weeks, but next week, this coming next week, we have the Pro Bowl games and everything that's going on. So the guys get a chance to relax and have fun and have friendly competitions and everything. So have a wonderful week. Stay safe. Be sure to insist, persist, and push back. And remind those in government that do their job on our behalf that they work for you and me. So, I will talk to you later. Love you all. And I will post this on my YouTube channel as well. Same name. So, talk to you later. Love you. You're welcome, Teresa. Love you. Stay safe in Chicago, okay? Okay, love you. Bye-bye, everybody.